Video games, man, they're great. Over the course of the years, we've had all kinds of different crazy ones, intricate, detailed ones, concepts that have never been recreated in any other medium. And I really want to talk about one that isn't that at all. This is a concept that has been so driven into the ground these days now that it's almost hard to remember where it came from. But here's what it is, boys and girls. Let's talk about Super Metroid and the birth of the Metroidvania. Super Metroid, released on the Super Nintendo by Nintendo itself, is a hallmark of a video game and considered one of the best video games of all time. And that's because as you encounter the game for the first time, you begin to realize the genius of the detail, the genius behind the level design and the detail behind it, as well as the atmosphere and the sense of haunting that is inherent in the Metroid series. All of these are coming to a forefront here with Super Metroid. The story of Samus Aran is an interesting one of the first female protagonists in gaming. Each Metroid game is a factory of isolation, and they put you in these places where you feel so alone. In an alien world, it's you have your power armor, and that's it. And you're facing off against all kinds of creatures, all kinds of enemies that are swarming towards you, and there's no one else there to comfort you, no one else there to help. That sense of haunting goes across the music. You hear it in every beat. Every time that you open a new place, you don't know what's going to be on the other side of that door, what's going to meet you, or who, or what you'll discover. The exploration and the setting, of course, on an alien planet, all tie together into the sense of isolation. And the powerful yet subtle storytelling of Samus Aran, specifically in this game, is really interesting. We have her relationship with a baby Metroid, these creatures, these horrible alien creatures that she has been tasked to destroy. Think Alien. Think Ridley from Alien and the actual alien. That's kind of the relationship where she was tasked, not even with Ridley, she wasn't really tasked, but Samus here was tasked with destroying this great, powerful alien being, the Metroid. In the previous game, however, the relationship of the baby Metroid to Samus tied into almost a paternal, motherly relationship. She came across a young version of one of these creatures, and it was kind to her. And so the way that they incorporate that idea into this devastating, isolating world is fantastic. And her struggle against the space pirates, her struggle against Mother Brain, and that final scene of the game really put this on a level of subtle storytelling that is most sublime, at least for me. And it is something I think must be experienced to be fully understood. It defined an entire gaming genre. That's what this game is. When you think of a Metroidvania today, you think of a 2D platformer, maybe with a lot of exploration. So the worlds are kind of built out a lot, so you can kind of go to different parts, jump around, maybe little puzzles are here and there to solve. But another thing that it is signified by are upgrades. So as you go along, you get a new gun. Maybe you get a new missile. Maybe you can start to lay bombs out of your butt. Maybe now your hair catches on fire and you can use that to die. I don't know. Whatever it is, those types of games always incorporate exploration and upgrades in some way, shape, or form on a 2D plane. And you can use those in other genres as well. These concepts were perfected here with Super Metroid. This is the blueprint for that type of game, a Metroidvania. And they're a type of game unlike any other. They give a sense of world, a sense of lived-inness, and an idea of exploration, like a discovery. I think discovery is probably a better word, that few other, especially 2D games, could ever signify. Obviously, now we have open worlds and other formats that we can get that sense of discovery from. But back then, very few, and Metroidvania was at the top. So many different kinds of puzzles to solve. You get some great upgrades, like I said. And Metroid is also, of course, known for their enemy design, for their iconic bosses, and those battles. Like all of those moments, the gunplay, the way that it handles, the grappling hook that you get later, and like different controls and things that you can upgrade, all of it ties together to make a truly unforgettable masterpiece. Now, in this day, if you were to sit down and play it, you might get a little frustrated, I will say it starts off and you get a very floaty feel from Samus as you begin to play the game. And that can be difficult to control, especially for a newcomer and if you've never played a Metroid game. But I would say if you ever want to try this game, do not let that deter you. You'll get used to it, and you'll be able to enjoy the exploration, the isolation that is inherent in Super Metroid. It's available on the Nintendo Switch and about every other Nintendo platform, so give it a frickin' try if you haven't. It's a great game. And that's going to be it for us this week. Thank you for listening, guys. This has been an awesome time, and I have learned a lot on my own. So I really appreciate those of you who have stuck around. If you want to talk to me at any point or ask me a question, you can email me at joshrgallegos@gmail.com. I've changed the name. It was something else before. This is a new email, joshrgallegos@gmail.com. Gallegos spelled Gallegos, for those of you who are nincompoops. Thank you for listening. Have a good one, and we'll see you next week.